Thank you for clicking on this Smashy Smashy Eggman movie reviews and more. I am Martin Prevost, and yes, I wore my Jurassic Park shirt for a very specific reason. Not because I'm talking about Jurassic Park, although that would be an animal attack movie. No, because I'm talking about a different animal attack movie written by Michael Crichton, and that is Congo. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time. I remember not caring for it when I watched it the first time. After rewatching it, I gotta say, younger Martin wasn't bright on this subject, because this was a really good movie. I enjoyed it way more than I expected to. I got captivated by it and drawn into it, and it's just got such a good cast. I am going to talk about the cast for a second, because I'm really bothered by the Blu-ray case. You can't see it because of how far away it is on camera. But here's the cast, and in the order that they are billed on the cover of the Blu-ray case. Dylan Walsh, who is at best a secondary lead. Laura Linney, who is the main character. She deserves to be on here. Should have been billed above Dylan Walsh. Ernie Hudson, who is right where he should be. He should have been the third build. And the fourth build, there's a clear fourth build actor in this movie. They gave it to Jodan Baker, who's a great actor and is in this movie, but is so unimportant. He didn't need to be the fourth build actor. Tim Curry is the villain of this movie. Tim Curry, and he doesn't even make the case. Like, how do you not advertise that Tim Curry is in this movie? It shocked me. It shocked me because when I first pulled it out for the shelf to watch it, I looked and I saw the starring cast. And I went, I thought Tim Curry was in this. Like, that was my thought. I looked at it and went, I thought Tim Curry was one of the actors. But no, he is listed, he's the end. He's listed at the end of the main cast, but he's still not on the cover. And he should be. That was my Tim Curry not on the cover rant. Alright, getting into the actual movie, Congo. This is 1995, so we are 2 years after Jurassic Park. Why was this movie made? Because 2 years earlier, Jurassic Park came out. Michael Crichton had proven his properties with animatronic animals could do big at the box office. So, I believe this is Fox. Nope, Warner Brothers. So the Warner Brothers decided to scoop up one of his other books involving animals, and that is Congo. Warner Brothers scooped it up, and they put it into production. And they threw some money at this film. The cast list doesn't sound like it, because Laura Linney, although if you look at her IMDb, I mean, she did, like, The Truman Show, and there was a couple other things on there that I recognized her from. Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters. But these aren't, even Tim Curry, great actor, amazing actor, Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, It. Great actor. None of these are, like, huge names. And Dylan Walsh, I'm not actually sure I wasn't even aware of Dylan Walsh as an actor until, like, 2005 when I started watching Nip Tuck. So, yeah, so that one would not have been a selling name for me. Oh, Dylan Walsh is in this! Yay! Nope, wouldn't have sold it. I so didn't sell it. I'm right now rewatching Nip Tuck. I'm actively rewatching this show that he is the star of. I grabbed the case, read the names, and I didn't realize that was who it was until he showed up in the movie. That's when I went, oh, Dylan Walsh, he's from Nip Tuck. I honestly, of the two main actors of Nip Tuck, I could only tell you Dylan Walsh is that one. And I've been racking my brain trying to actually remember the other actor's name without having to look it up. The actor who plays the other plastic surgeon. Without having to look it up. But every time I go, well, Dylan Walsh is one, and I don't know who the other guy is. I can't think of his name, I just know he's in Fantastic Four. And Rise of the Silver Surfer as Dr. Doom. So, it was weird that even seeing his name on this box, that connection didn't get made. So, Congo. Let's get into this. Let's get into this animal movie. This is the weirdest one, I think, out of everything I've done, because the animal attack isn't the centerpiece of this film. It's part of it, but it's not the centerpiece. So, we open with an expedition in the Congo. led by Bruce Campbell, who has a cup of coffee in this movie. The expedition is attacked during a satellite uplink. They're attacked by what looks like guerrillas. It is presumed everyone in the expedition is killed, although no one is certain on Bruce Campbell and one other member of the expedition. They were never located, and they're not seen on the video monitors, therefore they're not certain. And we as the audience are not shown either of these two characters actually dying, and they're also the only two characters we're introduced to. So good for them. Although, you're almost certain one of them is dead. Like, I was certain without having to rewatch, remembering this movie, I was certain one of them was fully dead. Bruce Campbell, I knew he was going to end up being dead, but, they do frame it enough where maybe Bruce Campbell is still alive. Spoiler, he's not. This is being overseen by Laura Linney at the communications company. He's looking for a diamond to power a laser for communication purposes. I don't think they ever make it clear why the laser is needed, but she's looking for a diamond. But Bruce Campbell is looking for a diamond to make this laser work. It's then decided that they're going to jump into an expedition that's going on to the Congo, basically take it over, and mount a rescue mission. Though her boss and Bruce Campbell's dad in this movie, Joe Don Baker, really just wants the diamond. That's what he wants. He wants the diamond. He wants his laser. He doesn't care about his son, but he lies to Laura Linney so that she will go. We are then introduced to Dylan Walsh, who is a primate. He works with primates, and he's taught a monkey named Amy to sign. Amy is very good at it. She's very intelligent, but he decides it's time to take Amy back to the wild. No one will fund this because Amy is a great experiment and is letting people learn a lot until he meets Tim Curry, who is willing to fund the expedition, but he's Romanian and he's Tim Curry, so something's up with this. At the airport, Laura Linney pays for the fuel to join this expedition, so she is now going with Dylan Walsh, Tim Curry, Dylan Walsh's unnecessary assistant, and Amy to the Congo. When they land, they are greeted by Joe Palantino, Matrix. I'm trying to think of what else this guy. He's done so much. Just look him up. Look up Joe Palantino. I'm sure you're never going to spell it right. Try. You're going to find a lot of stuff that you recognize this dude from. He shows up. He's uncredited in this movie. He has two really fun scenes with... He's the guy who's outfitting this expedition, so he's giving all the equipment to Laura Linney and supplying men. There is a uprising going on in the country they have landed in. So this is where they meet Ernie Hudson, who is their guide, who has got a great British accent in this movie. It is just a beautiful accent. I love Ernie Hudson and his accent. They get on an airplane with the equipment and the other men, where they are meted by, you know what, I'm butchered this man's name, because it's a very African name. But he's one of the main characters of Oz. I love him. He's also on Lost. He was in The Mummy Returns as the main, the giant African-American fighter who fights the Magi, the main Magi guy. He plays that. He does a lot of stuff. He's in G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra. Love him. He's a great actor. So he is in this as well as the head of the expedition's minor cannon fodder characters. He's the one that gets named, though. As they're flying over countries, they begin to get shot at with rocket launchers, which requires them to drug the monkey and jump out of plane. Once landed, you find out why Tim Curry wants to be a part of this. He believes Amy knows where a lost diamond mine is, based on drawings she has done, and he really wants the diamonds. So that's his rationale for being here. They travel. There's a lot of traveling in this movie, and again, it's an interesting movie. They keep it going with the dialogue and everything else, but you just can't. But you do. It keeps moving, and it moves very well, but there's a lot of after they jump out of the plane and until they get to the city. They're attacked by a hippo? So we get a hippo attack in this movie too, though this movie isn't about hippos attacking humans. There is a hippo attack. So this one you get bonus. You get a bonus animal. You get a hippo. They finally make it to the city. Amy, they ran into other gorillas. They don't know what to make of Amy because she has a device that allows to translate her sign language into words. So they don't know what to make of her. She's sad. Eventually they get to the city and they find it overran. They find the first of the many gray gorillas who guard the city. They set up a perimeter for that night, and a battle ensues of guns and gorillas trying to break the perimeter. The next morning, they find out 2 porters and Tim Curry have gone missing, as has Amy, who has gone off to reunite with the gorillas, who didn't know what to make of her earlier, but now she doesn't have her equipment on, so they accept her into their brood. I don't actually know what a group of gorillas is called. I'm going to call it a brood. It's a brood now. I've decided this. The rest of the expedition goes looking for the 2 missing porters and Tim Curry. A volcano begins to erupt because we needed a ticking clock in this movie. I think I'll get into why I think there's a volcanic eruption in this movie. It might have been from the book. I don't know. I've never read the book. It might have been from the book, but I feel like in the movie there's a reason why, and it's stupid. But I'll get to why when we get to that part of the movie. They fall lower into the cave where they randomly run into Tim Curry, who appears back in this movie just to walk into the room where the mine is, the entrance to the mine where all the caves are, and diamonds are strewn on the ground. He begins to pick them up, and the guardians of the mines, because the gorillas were trained to be guardians of the mines, basically kill anyone that tries to steal the mines. They eventually thought the miners were stealing, and that's how the city died. The gorillas killed everyone. The gorillas attack Tim Curry, and Tim Curry dies. Our heroes then start shooting at the monkeys as all the cannon fodder men are getting taken out. Dylan Walsh, Ernie Hudson, and Laura Linney find their way to a pool where there's definitely a way out, but you have to swim. But none of them know this, so they never try. How do I know there's a way out where you have to swim? Because earlier in the movie, Bruce Campbell and the other dude who's met, that's how they find the diamond that they need to look for. Bruce Campbell is actually, his dead, rotting corpse is holding the diamond. So she finds the laser, puts the diamond in the laser, and diamond shoots a bunch of gorillas. Why? Because that's what it does. What does this have to do with telecommunication? I still don't know, but she diamond shot a bunch of gorillas. She diamond lasered a bunch of gorillas. Now, none of them exploded, so we don't get it. Any exploding gorillas. But she definitely shot diamond laser at a bunch of gorillas. This is when the full volcanic eruption happens and lava starts pouring in and begins to burn all the gorillas to death. Because there are way too many gorillas for them to actually kill and survive. That's right, the lava exists because they wanted way too many gorillas. Instead of just having like a dozen or so gorillas that between the bullets and Laura Linney's diamond laser they could have killed, they had to have a volcanic explosion. Burning. Again, we don't get any exploding gorillas. They just burn to death. So this one has no exploding animals. It's sad. It's sad. So we don't get a perfect score. We just get a... I really thought the laser was. I really thought the laser was going to make one explode, but it does. It just cuts them. It does exactly what the laser should do, and I'm disappointed that this movie decided to have the laser do what it's supposed to do instead of doing what I wanted it to do. Beyond that, there's then the fleeing of Ernie Hudson, Laura Linney, Dylan Walsh, and Amy as the eruptions continue and they outrun the lava. And you know all these people are going to survive at this point. So there's no stakes in this scene, and we can just move the crap on. Laura Linney contacts Jodan Baker and notifies him that his son is dead. He doesn't care. He just wants to know about the diamond. So she uses the laser to shoot a satellite out of the sky. I don't know why again, I don't know what this laser had to do with telecommunication, but it can shoot satellites out of the sky. Maybe that's why. Shoot the competition satellites out of the sky by our laser. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Amy is accepted into her new brood of gorillas, and Dylan Walsh, Ernie Hudson, and Laura Linney take off in a hot air balloon to go wherever the crap they need to go to get the crap out of the Congo. I like this movie. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a good time. There isn't a lot of CG. It's much like Jurassic Park, but there is CG. It's CG enhanced through the animatronics because Amy is definitely a person in a suit. It's a very convincing person in a suit, but especially on Blu-ray and high def, it's a person in a suit. And I think all the gray gorillas and the normal gorillas, they're all people in suits. This is definitely but they look good. Because they have enough actors who are willing to hunch their bodies and do all that stuff to make them look more gorilla-like. So at least they did that. That's cool. The effects are fine in this movie. The acting is really good. I actually missed a Blink and You'll Miss It cameo by another actor I recognized, John Hawkins, who, again, IMDb him. He's in Identity. He's in just a bunch of stuff. He does a lot of work, and he's really good in everything he does. He literally screams in this movie. They find out that somebody from the expedition survived for a while, wasn't immediately killed by the gray gorillas. They find his body. He sees Amy, screams, and then dies. And I'm not sure he's actually in the beginning of this movie. I'm pretty sure that's all he did. But I saw him going, oh, it's him! And then he died. I'm like, oh, well, that happened. Yeah, it's a fun movie. I enjoy Congo. And, yeah, if you've never seen it, check it out. It's worth the time. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I have a copy of it, because I'm probably going to watch this movie again. Alright, we are at the finish line. 1 week left. One movie left to talk about. And that is my favorite giant monster, animal attack, whatever movie you want to classify it as. And that is Eight-Legged Freaks. I'm talking about that next week. So tune in, like, comment, subscribe, share, so you don't miss any content, and communicate with me, because I have no problem communicating with people. I like communicating. And I will talk to you next week. I am Martin Prevost. This is Smashy Smashy Eggman. Movie reviews and more. Talk to you later. Have a good one.